Boy, what a perfect day to be out here filming with this 2020 Volvo XC40 T5 R design. I'm so happy that it snowed because it's like we just transported into Sweden. This is Volvo's smallest crossover option. You've got the XC90 up top, you got the XC60 below that, and then right in here, the subcompact XC40. We've got it here in this almost Oreo black on white on black double stuff paint configuration. And I've really been excited to drive this car because I've had little bits of time in it before, but when this one was dropped off, I gotta admit guys, I fell in love. And what really got me is what I'll show you on the interior in just a moment. This is the T5 designation, which is the higher of the engine options. You've got the T4, which is a 2-liter turbo with a little bit less horsepower. And then this has a 2-liter turbocharged engine making 248 horsepower, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It all results in a powerful, smooth, torquey, easy driving experience and makes it just a pleasure to drive in all situations. Even out here, where it's a snowy winter wonderland. I really like the look, how it's not overly styled. It still manages to find a nice blend between chic, stylish, aggressive, and well-proportioned in its subcompact size. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor. I'm gonna take you around the 2020 Volvo XC40. Let's go. So first off, as soon as it got dropped off, what hit me were the looks. Now I was a little apprehensive about the R design because, as you might have seen, I just recently had the XC90 R design, and out here in Michigan, those 22-inch optional wheels were not doing any favors to the bumps on the road, the cracks, expansion joints. Everything felt rough, and I thought it was almost a little too over-styled. I much would have preferred a smaller wheel option, make it just look a little bit more understated while still looking good. Now this is the R Design XC40 as well, and it has the optional 20-inch wheels, but these are wrapped in a little bit thicker rubber than the XC90 that I had, and it makes them just, in my opinion, look that much better, and not only that, but be that much more functional. These are 45 aspect ratio tires, and they look good, they look meaty, and they look proportional. They make for a great looking package. I also like the white on this car. The black roof, white paint, and then black plastic cladding below kind of make this Oreo color scheme going on here. And it, again, looks a nice blend, looks like a nice blend between aggressive, but also stylish, but also rugged. It's just a really cool blend overall. But then, the kicker is you walk up, and you open the door, and bam! Hit in the face with this bright orange carpeting. And I just think this is so freaking cool, guys. Oh, I wish you could feel it. It's straight up carpet on the doors. Down here you've got your lava orange floor mat. That's what it's called, lava orange. It's either lava orange or lava red. Let me check for you guys right here on the spot. Don't want any incorrectness. Lava. It's just called lava. I think that's so cool, guys. I love cars that are different and unique. And you know, anytime anyone gets in your car, they're gonna be like, holy cow, look at that orange. And every time you get in, if you're having a bad day, if you're feeling upset about something, or you're just feeling good, you're gonna get in, you're gonna see your lava carpet, and you're gonna go, man, that's pretty cool. The materials, as all Volvos go, are just so nice. They're quality, they feel good, they look good. And this is the entry Volvo SUV. This car starts in the mid $30,000 range, and yet everything feels nice and it feels good. You gotta remember, it's a small SUV. This is technically a subcompact luxury SUV, so you're gonna be a little tight on space. I'm 5'10", and I'm not particularly comfortable back here, but I'm also not that bad. I could sit back here for probably max of a few hours before I'd really be clamoring to stretch my legs, have a little bit more room to spread out. But you've got center armrest here, nice fold down, good cup holders, got some door pocket mesh here, cool little vents back here. These little vents, they go a long way in just making the car look nice and look different. Volvos have always been good at being the different option, the one that kind of stands out. I just think that's so cool. Quality door handle there, metal. Very nice. solid feel on the door close. Let me know in the comments what you think about this two-tone roof scheme that's going on. A lot of cars are doing this kind of different color on the roof to the rest of the body. The Camry TRD that I just had that same type of thing. Volvo's got it with a lot of the different XC40 models. You can get it on the Kia Soul. Minis, you've been able to get it for a while. Is that something you guys like, or is it something that's just a little weird for you? Let me know in the comments. I like this big classic Volvo badging right here. Not just the little Volvo one that's up front, kind of the round circle that I'll show you. Spelling out Volvo in the back, it looks classy. This serif font, I like it. Automatic liftgate. Actually pretty sizably deep trunk here. Goes back pretty far. You've got this large covering that I will admit feels a little bit cheap. It's kind of just some sort of felt, hard plasticky felt material. But it's supposed to keep the contents of your cargo area hidden. Some people appreciate that. Look at that though. Look at that cool. This is supposed to be for, really could be for a lot of different things. It could be for keeping things organized. Like say you want to keep some emergency supplies or a blanket and maybe some dog things. There's just stuff that you always want to have in your car, but then you can close that and then put your groceries or whatever you're hauling in your cargo area right here. It's got hooks right here for grocery bags to go, or any sort of bags, I suppose. Let's see if this folds anymore. No. Under here, there is a spare tire, thank goodness. You got your tools right on top. You got a little belt there to hold some things in there from rattling around. That's thoughtful right there. That's some thoughtfulness. That shows that the engineers genuinely thought about what would be good for actually owning this car. That's one of them. You also have a center pass-through, so you've got some skis. You can put the center part down there, and look at that. You can pass right on through. Long pieces of wood, I don't know. Anything you have that you don't want to fold the seats all the way down, you can send right through there. They're mostly made for skis. Almost forgot to go around the front. Now this is Volvo's 2-liter turbocharged engine, which they're using on all sorts of their models these days. It's got the T5 designation. Pretty standard fare. It's hooked up to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It gets the job done. The engine is plenty of power for this little package. It's a cool styling. It keeps Volvo's kind of modern design language that they've had going for all their models now, and manages to be aggressive without overly aggressive. It's stylish too. I really like that. Ah, yes. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Volvo is killing it on interiors. They somehow just managed to get the right blend of stylish but subtle. Not that there's much subtle about this lava carpeting around here, but that is an option. Even in this least expensive model that they've got, everything feels good. Got this interesting design here. It's got a little bit of a texture to it. I can feel all these silver elements. Yeah, and you've got these cool vents that open and close, go in different directions. This has the upgraded 600 watt Harman Kardon sound system. You got some classy speaker grills there, probably functional as well. You got Volvo's digital gauge readout here. Everything looks good and clean. And that is customizable. You can go, let's see if I remember how to do this. This is right off the memory, ladies and gentlemen. We want to go down here to settings, my car, displays, display themes. Look at that. You got, this is glass, minimalistic, performance, and chrome rings. What's the difference between chrome rings and glass? Oh, okay, that's subtle. Let's keep chrome rings on there for a little while. It's a little bright around those edges. I guess they're trying to make the chrome look shiny. I might switch back to glass. You've also got themes here. You can do normal or bright theme, which I don't know who would choose that because it's much easier on the eyes to just have it in this dark theme. Volvo's infotainment, known as Sensus, they've been using it for a while here, and it's been getting better with every generation. They're always speeding up the processor, optimizing the software, because so much is done with the car in this center display, they've really got to do a lot to try to keep it fast, keep it smooth, make it a positive experience, because journalists love to tear this car apart for the infotainment display, and a lot of owners have reported issues with it at the dealerships. But overall, this one's been working pretty well. There was a little delay when I started up the car and I was trying to get my heated steering wheel exactly where I wanted. As you can see right now, adjustments are pretty immediate, but initially, when you first start up the car, things can be a little slow once everything's getting going. Let's take a quick look at the Monroney, or window sticker, for this Volvo. Okay. Hopefully this comes up well on the screen. As I said, this is the R design, so it's got plenty of R design features. Now the XC40 T5 starts at 35, well it's 35.7, but we always include destination in there, so it'd be 36,695. This has the advanced package for 1,400, adds headlight cleaning, pilot assist, which is Volvo's semi-autonomous cruise control. Got 3D surround view camera. Let me show you that here real quick. Put it into reverse. You've got your standard backup camera there, but then you click this, and you get to see all around the car. That's becoming more common, but Volvo's system is very high definition, works well, and it's responsive, and you can click on the individual cameras. Say you were pulling up to a curb, and you didn't want to run into it, and click that, and then, let me show you how it works here. You can see it's showing me what's on the side of the vehicle. Pretty nifty, especially at this price point. That does bring me to one frustration in this car, though, and that's the shifter. It doesn't take too long to get used to. It's just a mild, I guess I'll go as far as to say inconvenience that is worth mentioning. So you got this nicely designed, nice feeling, well-stitched shifter here, and I'm in park. And to get in park, you press this button. To shift, you have to pull back once. That puts you into neutral. Then you have to pull back again to go to drive. And then you drive around, la-di-da-di-da, and you come to a stop. You can just press park. But if you're driving along and then want to go into reverse, come to a stop, then you have to push forward twice, and then you're in reverse. It's pretty minor, but it just takes something to get used to when, so you get in the car, you're ready to go, bloop, oh, I'm in neutral. Gotta do it again. And then if you own the car for a while, you'd get in the habit of just starting the car, double tapping the shifter with your foot on the brake, and off you go. Just seems like kind of a redundant motion. I don't know how often you use neutral in your car. I'm going to assume rarely never. And I don't know why neutral is the default position for this shifter. We've also got an automatic parking brake. Got wireless phone charging, which I appreciate. That is another one of the options. You also pay $100 for the lava floor carpet and door panels. $750 for heated front seats and heated steering wheel. $200 for park assistant pilot. Let's try that right now. I've never used Park Assist Pilot in the Volvo. That's their automatic parking system. So there's lots of parking spaces here in this empty lot. Let's see if it'll park itself for me. We're trying it here first, ladies and gents. And I'm already lost. Let's go park in. Unavailable. Parking assistance is temporarily unavailable. Why? Can you not see these lines? I will admit, they're pretty faded. But we don't all live in Arizona. Weather's not always going to be perfect. Let's try this again. Driving along. Okay, Volvo, park me into that parking spot. Oh. No. How about park out? Use only for parallel parking. Well, that's unfortunate. Sorry, guys. I cannot show you how park in works. What else do we got? We've got the 20-inch 5-spoke wheels for $800, 600-watt Harman Kardon premium audio. Coming in for a grand total of $46,995. Call it $47. 22 miles to the gallon city, 30 highway, not so bad. You got all-wheel drive after all. All right, let's go for a short drive with the Volvo. I appreciate Volvo's just got a standard, well-tuned automatic transmission in all their cars. It's pretty quick, usually knows what it's doing. Very few frustrations. Volvos do a really nice job at just providing an effortless driving experience. It's not going to be the most engaging car you drive any day, but it's supposed to just kind of fade into the background and just work and be a nice, pleasant experience. This XC40 does have navigation. It's a pretty good system. I don't want to look away from the road too much, play around with it, but it comes up nicely, it's easy to use, everything makes sense. Heated steering wheel is nice. You've got 5 drive modes in the Volvo, but unlike most Volvos that have a little rotary knob down here to change the drive modes, the button is hidden right there. You've got comfort, individual, dynamic, and eco, and then you also have an off-road mode that can only be accessed at low speeds. They're all pretty self-explanatory. They all work fine. You've got paddle shifters. I don't exactly know why. I guess Volvo's trying to be sporty, but it's not a sports car, everyone. Just drive it like a normal SUV. I will say the steering position is really strange in this car. It's one of the very first things I noticed when I started driving it. My arms are really far outstretched here, like full lock. Comfortably, there's a little bit of a sag, but I wouldn't go as far as to say it's comfortable. And before you ask, yes, the steering wheel is all the way out. If it goes all the way in, it's like super, super far up here. I don't believe the pedals are adjustable. I can't find any adjustment for those. So that's a strange seating position. I'm going to ask a few other people what they think. Talk to Chris from the Topher, see what he thinks about the seating position. I guess I'm getting used to it. I didn't think about it as much when I got in the car the last few times, but it is different. The materials around the XC40 are a little bit cheaper than you find in more premium Volvo models, but that's entirely expected. And even if they're cheaper, they don't feel bad. They don't feel cheap. They're just a step down from the super premium stuff you feel in an XC90 or a well-equipped XC60. For example, this material right here, these buttons in the steering wheel, they're just kind of a more quality feeling plastic, whereas in the XC90 and XC60 and the S90, all those higher number cars, they feel, it's like a, I guess it's still plastic, but it's kind of a translucent plastic with some added dimension to it and a really smooth finish. These are kind of a matte smooth, whereas those were more of a shiny, glossy smooth. You do have auto stop start in this car, so I'm sitting here at the stoplight and the engine is off. I'm going to drive, and as soon as I let my foot off the brake, the engine will come back on. It's not as smooth as some vehicles that have 48-volt electrical systems, which give it a really strong starting power, but it's fine. I like the system, even though a lot of people typically turn it off. I gotta say, the cabin is really isolated, and I'm impressed at this price point that it is so quiet. I hear the other cars going by me in the road in front, and they're pretty subdued. It's serene in here. A lot of smooth turbocharged torque way down low makes for getting away from stop signs and stoplights and up to speed traffic very easy. Good turning radius. It's pretty nimble, although it's still the seating position. You sit pretty high up, and the car still feels very SUV-like. So it's not like it's trying to be a car. It's very much a crossover. You also got a little map up in the gauge cluster, which is nice. You're just driving along, and you're like, wait, where was that driveway? Where was that turn in? What road am I at? Just look forward. It tells you exactly where you are. Especially with this awesome different lava interior in this car and the nice little accents around, the way everything works well, I'm really having trouble coming up with complaints about this car. If you're someone who doesn't need a lot of space, who doesn't take very many rear seat passengers, and wants a car that's sort of urban chic, a little bit rugged, a little bit sporty, can drive slowly and economically, no problem, but can also have a little bit of hustle in it when you want it, the XC40 really is a pretty cool option. Now, if you're not somebody who's going to be using a lot of power, I would probably recommend checking out the T4 engine option. It's not going to have that satisfying pull and grunt that this T5 turbocharged motor has, but you're going to get better fuel economy, it's going to cost a little less, and if you don't find yourself flooring this T5 engine anyway, it's probably all most buyers need for this class. If I had to come up with any sort of complaint with this Volvo, it would be the somewhat awkward seating position. Like I said earlier, my arms just have to be further out than I would typically choose for most vehicles, but it's by no means uncomfortable, and I do acclimate to it pretty quickly. I'll also say that Volvo's Pilot Assist doesn't work as well in this car as any of the other Volvos I've used it in. I'll activate it now and we'll see if it has any hiccups, but it just doesn't seem to be as confident or as accurate and as good at staying within the lines as other Volvos. I do have a little bit of a fear of how this bright orange carpet is going to wear. I'm just predicting after 100,000 miles and years of dirt and sand and dust buildup on the floors, how that carpet is going to look. But I'm really curious about it, and if you keep it clean and you don't trash your car, it might look good for many years to come. And there's also the question of the reliability of Volvo's turbocharged powertrain in this car, but from a new car perspective, that's not really much of a consideration while you're under warranty, and I don't have any data to suggest that it's going to be good or bad. It's just something to consider when you're dealing with kind of a higher stressed, smaller turbocharged engine like this. You also have a lot of electronics like the Pilot Assist and various other safety mechanisms that do have the potentiality to fail, yielding you possibly high repair bills. And I do have to admit, as much as I like Volvo's Sensus infotainment system more than a lot of other systems, including the Subaru system that I've recently tested, it does act slow sometimes, often on startup when the vehicle's cold. Just this morning I was coming out and trying to adjust my heated steering wheel settings, and for about 5 seconds I couldn't do anything on the screen. While I'm willing to overlook a few hiccups and flaws with the system just because I like it, I do have to objectively mention that it has given me some issues and isn't as easy to use or as fluid as a system that has physical, non-touchscreen controls. Now, some cars, when you get in them, they have an initial wow factor, and once you spend some time with them, living with them, that kind of wears off. Other cars, you're not very impressed initially, but then you start to appreciate its attributes after you spend some time with it. This Volvo is one of those rare cars that manages to do both. It has an initial wow factor. From the first moment I set eyes on it, I was like, man, that is a sharp car. That's got a lot of cool stuff about it. But now, after living with it for a week, I'm still interested in this car. I still like getting a chance to drive it. I've spent plenty of seat time in it. I'm comfortable. Everything makes sense. This is a car I could genuinely see owning, and especially genuinely see recommending to someone who's interested in a vehicle in this class. I've been getting pretty decent fuel economy, driving around in mixed sort of driving. I'm averaging almost 27 miles per gallon. It's smooth, It has just the right amount of power for this sort of vehicle. Overall, I'm really happy with the XC40, even in this T5 R-Design spec. I really think Volvo did a great job with it. Let's get out and take one more look at the car. Again, I really appreciate the styling in this car, both inside and out. I think Volvo really knocked it out of the park with its dimensions, proportions, styling elements, the driving, features, and the price. Overall, very nice package here with the XC40, and I highly recommend you go check one out. I'm Charlie with Daily Motor. Please hit that subscribe button if you liked what you saw, and we'll see you on the next video. Drive on.